The Colin Kaepernick effect continues. The LA Rams are struggling, and athletes make a very big statement at New York Fashion Week. All this and more up next on Girls Night on Sports Weekly.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
For those of you who don't know, we're playing this because Erica's 25th birthday was yesterday.
25.
25 is fine.
Right. Katy Perry birthday.
Oh, and Josh.
And Josh is not here.
He's in New York right now.
Pop your period.
Happy birthday, Josh.
What?
Love you,
This is
love
my
you.
jam. Hey, Josh. Where are you, Josh? Are you on a rendezvous, Josh?
He's Josh is in New York living. He's probably at Fashion Week. Probably.
Is he in New York for real?
He is in New York.
How do you know that?
He told me he was going to New York.
He didn't tell me that.
And I think he's all on Snapchat and stuff too.
Okay.
Josh, bring us back some presents. We love presents.
We do. Well, we gotta bring Josh a present. It's his birthday.
True. I left my present at home for Erica.
It's okay. We made up for it right here.
Cheers.
You shook. Here he goes. Boy, you with me. A taste. Make it like. Okay, I guess we should start the show.
Let's start.
Okay, you're watching Sports Weekly every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We're a little turnt today because, again, it's my birthday week, but Josh's birthday week too. Whatever. Erica Renee Davis, you can find me on Snapchat, Periscope, not really, Twitter, and on Instagram, and on Insta Story at Erica Renee D.
Hey guys, it's Raina, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Raina_LA.
And as always, follow all things Black Hollywood Live.
I can't with you right now.
BlackHollywoodLive.com. Follow Black Hollywood Live on Twitter at BHL Online. Follow us on Instagram at The Sports Weekly. Charlie is normally the person who keeps up the Instagram page.
He does. Charlie,
He
man.
hasn't been doing it. Okay.
Too busy. It's baseball season, right?
Well, you know, baseball season really gets cranking, gets real turnt in the fall, in September, October. So he's probably
True.
busy. Okay. Oh, so much to talk about.
Yes,
Girls' night,
it
guys.
is girl night.
Now, do you guys remember our last girls' night when it was the two of us and McCall? Y'all.
It was a hot mess. McCall, we love you, girl. Missing you right here.
Right. But it was fun, and we got so much hate mail that next day because we talked about Gabrielle Douglas's hair. And her edges.
And
People were like, Raina, you can't be talking about her hair because you're not even black. And people were saying to me, you shouldn't be talking about Gabby Douglas's hair because you're black and you're putting her down. Anyway.
I didn't even say nothing bad about it. I was just like, she's fine. I had no idea. They had to educate me and let me know what certain products to be putting in your hair, especially McCall. McCall had
the talked about like the edge control and the
some oil, finest of the
was it the castor oil? No.
Yes.
Okay. But so last time we had a girls' night on VHL, we got in trouble the next day. But listen, McCall told me very well. She was like, Erica, if you aren't getting talked about, then you aren't doing your job. So thank you guys for tuning in. Girls' night part 2.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't what?
Poppin'.
Thank you.
Okay, Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's story, well, this is 3 weeks old now, and the story just absolutely will not die, which I'm happy about. The latest saga, the latest twist in it is Dabo Swinney, the head coach for Clemson, gave this little press conference, a rant rather, about how he felt about Colin's protest. And some of his statements were, he said that Kaepernick is a distraction to the team. He said that in America we don't have a race problem, we have a sin problem. He says that Kaepernick protesting creates more division. And he said that if you want to protest Colin Kaepernick, instead of protesting by taking a knee during the anthem, you can protest by maybe calling a press conference. And then Dabo Swinney, who I typically like as a coach and as a person, he starts naming all the professions that have criminals, like the media, the politicians, and churches all have criminals, and basically saying that there are bad seeds in every profession. It has nothing to do with race. And then he inserts Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. into the conversation. So let's talk about that, Raina. Like, Dabo Swinney took to the podium and basically said, Colin Kaepernick, I don't like your protest, and MLK would not have been proud.
I think MLK will definitely be proud of his protest. I mean, you know, I applaud Kaepernick, like I've been saying every week. I think that he's brought so much awareness to the situation by kneeling. And I think that, you know, because of that, other athletes are starting to follow in his footsteps, and it's the message that he's trying to portray. It's the brutality. He decided to do that, and it's a peaceful way. Mm-hmm. Yes, eventually he is going to give his proceeds from his jerseys
jersey sales,
to those who are affected. But I just feel like people are just negative with him, and it's like he just wants to spread awareness about the situation.
And Colin Cowherd on The Herd made a very excellent point. He said, because of course, Colin Cowherd's viewers or whatever call in and say, Colin Kaepernick shouldn't be doing this, if he's going to do this, you need to be finding solutions. And Colin Cowherd made a very good point in his radio show yesterday. He said that Jennifer Aniston or other celebrities who bring awareness to cancer or AIDS research, they aren't going into the labs, like cutting up cells and trying to figure out how to cure these diseases. They're using their likeness as a way to bring awareness to a very big issue that we have in our country and in our society. And so it's as if that people are acting as if Colin Kaepernick should be held to a different standard. He's bringing awareness, and really it's all he really has to do, but he actually has taken the next step and is donating his proceeds to organizations that have a purpose of helping eradicate social injustices. But I don't know, I think that his protest makes people really, really uncomfortable, and they don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. They don't know what to do.
And I think that's why he did a great job.
I think so, too.
Because they don't know what to do.
They don't.
Nobody really knows how to act and how to solve this issue.
Yeah.
But, I salute him. I think he's doing a great job. But one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, so we're in football season right now.
Yes.
So basketball season, I think, is 40 days away. I've been counting down.
Regular season or?
Preseason.
Okay, that's fine. Same thing, we'll take it.
Yeah, so do you think this is going to carry on to NBA players? Like, how do you think?
I think so.
They will.
I think so. If it doesn't carry on throughout the entire NBA season, I do think that the LeBrons and the Carmelos, particularly Carmelo, because he's super conscious when it comes to social and political issues, I think those big name marquee players will definitely take a stand or maybe take a knee the first few games to stand in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, because what Colin has done has, like, did you see the was it the Monday night game where the players were raising their fists?
Yes.
And some were kneeling and then some were sitting right next to Cap. It has the revolution has started. Mm-hmm. He has started. Colin Kaepernick has started this revolution. So yeah, I do think it's going to carry over. What about you?
I think so as well.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what happens.
Yeah,
who does it? And I would be interested to see who would be. Like, Colin Kaepernick, he started this. Mm-hmm. We don't really talk about Brandon Marshall.
We're going to talk about
him soon, but it's like, he's the bigger name. He started it. Mm-hmm. I want to see who would step up in the NBA, like, who would do it. I do think Carmelo would be the one. And I also think it would be interesting to see what other things that they'll do.
I want to see some white athletes, too, take some white and some Spanish athletes or, non-American athletes, too.
I'm going to ask you this, though. Cam Newton.
What about?
So he hasn't really been vocal in this situation at all. And, some people have been kind of taking offense to it because, he is the black quarterback of the NFL. So what are your thoughts on Cam Newton not really being vocal in this situation?
I think that Cam Newton tried to talk about the pressures of being a black quarterback last season during Super Bowl season, and then he got so much slack for it that he backtracked and took it back. And so now whenever he's asked politically charged questions that have to do with race or being a black quarterback or social issues like Colin Kaepernick kneeling down for the anthem, Cam Newton takes a very middle-of-the-road approach now. And I think his PR people, his marketing people are in his ear saying, look, he is the face of the NFL right now.
True.
Black, white, whatever, Samoan, like, he is who we think about when we think about NFL. I think his branding people are telling him to straddle the fence. Do I like that he has chosen this approach? No. But because he is so young and because he is so popular and so impressionable, I think for him, he probably needs to, this is awful, but I think it would probably serve him best to straddle the fence for a while. And then when he gets, more secure in the NFL, in his career, his fan base, in his tenure, then he can go rogue.
Do you think that has something to do because, you know, he's has a winning team with the Panthers? Do you think that has something to do with Kaepernick stepping up because, you know, he hasn't really been successful with the Niners and he hasn't really been playing a lot? Yeah. Do you think he just knows, like, I ain't got anything to lose, so this is my time to step up?
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, people have been saying that the only reason Colin Kaepernick is speaking out is
trying to be
because he's
stay relevant.
They trying to stay relevant. I don't even think Colin Kaepernick is doing this because he's just trying to stay relevant. I think that because he was raised by white people in a middle-class family, he probably never experienced the struggles that darker-skinned African Americans, darker-skinned black people experience. I don't know. I don't say African Americans typically. I don't know. I think that as he has seen these social injustices happen over and over again, where these unarmed men or armed men who are armed and are licensed to be armed are getting killed in the streets, and then the police. There's another incident today where the police in Ohio killed a little
13-year-old boy
with a BB gun, and these officers are getting paid leave, you know, and then they come back and they aren't getting fired. So I think that Colin Kaepernick really sees that, man, I'm a black man in America, but I grew up privileged. And I think he is really now starting to feel the effects of what actually goes on in the world outside of his bubble. So I don't think it's a publicity stunt.
I don't either. I think this is just how he really feels, and I think that he just took the right time to come out about everything. So
now I'm going to give you guys an exclusive, a BHL exclusive. So it's interesting because when Brandon Marshall, we were shooting last Thursday when Brandon Marshall was taking the knee.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and the media keeps reporting it as Brandon Marshall is taking a knee to show support for his college football teammate, Colin Kaepernick, and they were definitely college football teammates, but a lot of people don't know, and the media hasn't been reporting it, is that Colin Kaepernick and Brandon Marshall are actually line brothers, and they're both members of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and so to be a teammate is one thing, but to be fraternity brothers is another thing, and to be line brothers is even more, you know, special. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that Brandon had taken a knee to show support with Colin, I was like, good job. Like you are supporting your lion brother. And in the Black Greek communities, you know, you are taught to do everything with your line. Like when you come in and you get pledged, and you literally do everything with your line brothers and your line sisters. And so the mainstream media is not reporting that as, oh, they're line brothers, but they are. Colin Kaepernick and Brandon Marshall are line brothers, actually. And it made my heart, you know, feel so good, because I'm, you know, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and I know what it is to have line mentality, and I have it.
See, I'm not really familiar with that.
Okay.
I went to a school that in San Francisco, there wasn't a lot of communities like that, at USF specifically. But I do know, and I have a few friends that are involved, mm-hmm. and I think one of the things that I admire about the sororities and fraternities mm-hmm. is the loyalty mm-hmm. and having each other's back. And I think that will go on and carry on forever. So
yeah,
hearing about Brandon do that, I mean, you know, he probably feels the same way. I mean, I'm sure he does feel the same way, but I just feel like that was just a great move for him. He did lose some endorsements, like we're going to talk about
that. Go talk about it.
Yeah, so he lost a few endorsements. One in particular, I just lost the insurance.
CenturyLink. He lost CenturyLink, and he lost, what was the other one? The Academy, the Air Academy Credit Union. He lost that one too.
He lost 2 endorsements, and that was shortly after, I think a day or two after he lost both of those. And they're, you know, I don't know, I just lost them, whatever. And then Russell Simmons actually commented on the Shade Room, I believe. Mm-hmm. It was a blog on Instagram, and he said, you know, come with me. You have an endorsement with his company. So, I mean,
so Russell Simmons owns the prepaid Rush card, which I don't know, but whatever. It's prepaid Rush card.
Right.
Russell Simmons.
It's something.
So Russell Simmons has offered Brandon Marshall an endorsement in lieu of him having lost those 2 endorsements, which I think is the most genius thing, because, you know, as ethnic people, I don't care if you're Black, Mexican, Samoan, whatever, you know, because we are essentially the minorities, and if not the minorities in population, we're definitely the minorities when it comes to socioeconomic status. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to support each other when we lose money, and not only when rich people lose money like Brandon Marshall, because we already know you got money, but, you know, when, you know, the people who are in underserved communities can't get access to health care, to good education, we have to remember to pour back financially into those communities too.
Yeah, so that when I heard about that, I mean, it was cool. We texted each other actually when that happened.
Yeah.
You texted me, I think Brandon took a knee. So yeah, Brandon, we support you.
He's a guest of the show, guys.
He was.
He was a guest of the show.
It was a few months ago.
A few months ago. I'll post a throwback, a Flashback Friday picture so you guys can see Brandon on the show. Brandon also has decided to donate $300 per tackle this season to organizations that are focused on helping eradicate social injustices in the Denver area. Obviously, he plays for the Broncos. And then also Brandon Marshall met with the Denver Police Chief Robert White this Tuesday, so he can learn more about policing. And I don't know. I think that's a good idea.
I think that's great. Has Kaepernick made that? I think that's the next step for him. Meet with maybe Oakland PD, in the San Francisco area.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this, Raina, and people out there who are watching and commenting. Like, now that everyone's taking a knee, you have Rapinoe taking a knee for the soccer games, you have all these football players taking a knee, we anticipate NBA players will be doing the same. They better. Y'all black, they better.
I believe they might.
They better be taking a knee, too. What kinds of efforts after taking the knee do you think that these players need to do to really make an impact?
Well, I think definitely. I think Brandon Marshall and Kaepernick are taking the next step by donating money for one to these communities. Kaepernick's jerseys sales, and then Brandon Marshall his $300 per tackle. That's something.
That's something. Yeah.
I think that's definitely a positive step. But I also think what Brandon's doing is meeting with the police department. It's also understanding that side as well.
That's true.
I think meeting with we all have the athletes and police officers. A police officer won't really know what's going on in an athlete's head. They won't know what's going on the field, and just like an athlete won't really know what's going on in a police officer's head. So it's like I feel like it's important for them to come together and to hear both sides of the story and maybe come to a conclusion together. And I think that would be the next step for all of these athletes.
I like that too. I think if you're taking a knee, if you're holding your fist, then you need to make it known you need to publicly make it known via social media what you're doing in addition to taking a knee or holding your fist up. And one of the things that I think black athletes and celebrities, and I keep saying black, I just think athletes and celebrities in general, but particularly black because it's has become a black issue. I think that we need to create a task force that gives money, that pours money back into underserved communities, that gives money to lend to education efforts, that maybe help start open forums of discussion between city council members and gang members in different communities, because I think a lot of the reason that law enforcement has a shoot to kill mentality when it comes to ethnic people is because they don't respect us, and they don't respect us because they don't see us as educated or people who are. We don't see us as people. But I think the more education you have and the more knowledgeable you are, whether you're black or white on both sides of the table, I think those discussions, you got to put the money back into the communities to have these discussions. Once those discussions are held on a regular basis and we actually talk to each other as opposed to at each other, that will help bring some kind of resolution.
But and I think the being a professional athlete, being in the NFL, NBA, MLB, whatever it is, you have that authority because you're out there. People look up to you. Have younger kids looking up to you. So if you join forces with the police officers and come together,
and gang members
as well.
I mean, that's really super important because let me tell you, like I've met some gang members in the recent years who have explained to me, like I always thought, oh, gang members, oh, it's so stupid. I'm not saying that I particularly agree with gang mentality, but I understand. If you are living in a certain environment or neighborhood and you feel like you need to be protected, how you end up latching on to people who think are going to protect you. And that's basically what gangs do. Like they protect their own blocks. So if you can meet with the gang, the heads of the gangs in those communities who can help spread the word about nonviolence and education, and then couple that with police and even add a notable athlete to that, like.
So I think the rapper of the game, he did that. And we need more people like that to do that, have that voice, that have that authority to do so.
We need more people. We do. Anything else about Colin Kaepernick?
How'd you feel about his braids?
Colin Kaepernick is like, listen.
Do you think, let me ask you a real question. Do you think after him doing all this that you you see a different side of Colin?
Josh.
Because you weren't a fan of him last season.
Oh, I didn't hate Colin Kaepernick. I've always kind of been a fan of Colin Kaepernick. I don't think it's probably Dre. I don't know. It's probably Dre.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know. Like Josh, he's not with us today. Josh texted me was it Monday night? Whenever they played, and it was Monday night.
Yeah.
Josh texted me. He said, "Have you seen Colin Kaepernick with the cornrows?" And I was like, "Oh, Colin Kaepernick." So I think
cornrows or fro? Because he had a fro a few days.
I like both of them though.
Really?
So I think Colin Kaepernick is sexy.
I do too.
Right?
I do too.
He's sexy. And talented, which is the most important thing. But I think he's sexy. And I don't know. I think he's really, really. I think Colin Kaepernick is really embracing his ethnic roots. You know, he's probably lived with these white people for so long, and he's like, shit, I'm black. What the fuck? Sorry, excuse my language.
So if you had to pick between Colin Kaepernick with the fro, Colin Kaepernick with the braids, which one would you pick?
I want to say Colin Kaepernick with the braids.
Really?
What do you say?
I'm gonna say fro. I just haven't been. I'm not really a fan of braids, and I think he's attractive with them for sure. I don't think it's not gonna bring away from this. This is what it is. This is where it's at.
Okay.
But I like the fro.
Okay.
I don't know, I just like it.
You want to run your fingers through his fro?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Colin, are you watching? Or Brandon, who's a friend of the show, you watching? Can you pass the message back down the line?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Eric embarrassing.
Okay, so I have a new vlog called The Bandwagon Ram because I've never had an NFL team before. And even though I cheered for the Falcons, even when I was a Falcons cheerleader, I didn't really care. I was a Vic fan. I was a Matt Schaub fan. I didn't care about the team, really. Sorry, guys. That's the truth. So now I'm trying to find a new team. So I have decided to become a Rams fan.
I mean, live in LA.
Bad decision.
Well, it's the beginning of the season. We have a lot of football to play. So, I don't know. I'm like you as well. I never really followed a football team. I mean, when I was in San Francisco for school, I liked the Niners.
Okay.
I went to an Oakland game once, scared out of my life. Those fans were... It was my first football game ever. My friend Shay took me, and those fans are so loyal. I love that, but I was just I wasn't...
They're ruthless. Those Raiders fans are like
When I tell you that game was the most intense game ever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so then the Niners as well. But LA, I'm loyal to my LA teams. The Lakers, of course. And the Rams.
Clippers.
So the Clippers are all right.
Okay. So
they're not very good.
Whatever. You're a hater. The Rams looked awful on Monday night. It was so boring that the who's it?
Panthers coach
Rivera was like he went to sleep during the game. What was it? 28-0, and I was really, really disappointed. Case Keenum looked. I said on my Bandwagon Ram vlog, you can find on my Twitter at EricReneD, that how do we have three quarterbacks but don't have one quarterback? And Jared Goff was supposed to be, not the next coming of Jesus, but I mean, y'all drafted him number one, made Nick Foles get so upset that you guys were bringing in a new number one draft pick at quarterback, and then you
Is he still hurt?
I don't think he's hurt. I just think they have him inactive so that he can sit behind Keenum and who's the other guy? I don't know the quarterback. I don't know.
I thought it was because he was hurt.
I don't think he's hurt. I just think they don't want him to play.
Teaching him a lesson because he's a rookie?
Because he's a rookie. Yeah, your number one draft pick rookie.
But the coach doesn't have that type of
well, see, and people respect Jeff Fisher because he allegedly is a good recruiter and he has built teams from ground up for years and years and years. But I think he's won like one playoff game in 16 years.
He's had a losing season since 2008, I think.
Let's just give you guys some background on Case Keenum. He completed 17 of 35 passes for only 130 yards on Monday night's game. He was off target most of those passes. And I just honestly don't think that Case Keenum is the answer. I think they need to go ahead and throw Jared Goff into the fire.
I think so. I think it's time for him to just give him a shot.
Yeah.
Let's let him see what happens.
And, y'all, Blaine Gabbert was picking apart that defense. Blaine Gabbert honestly, you let Blaine Gabbert make your defense. And the Rams' defense last year in St. Louis they weren't anything to turn your nose up at, and they looked awful the other night.
So do you think because they moved to LA and the hype of LA and the city, do you think the Rams players or the coaching staff, do you think that kind of had something to do with it? Just the LA hype, the fans, how they're into that you have to have a winning team in order. Like sometimes that's that mentality. Do you think coming to LA had something to do with their mindset and kind of change things?
It might, because what were they? They were 7-9 last year. So I mean, I guess with that horrible loss, they probably are all on pace for a similar record. But I bet the big lights, big city bright lights, LA environment probably changes your perspective and changes how you act. Because I mean, you go from St. Louis where there's nothing to do to LA where there's everything, everybody to do. So maybe there are some distractions. And Case Keenum said that he said he didn't trust himself. He's like, I didn't trust myself in Monday night's game.
Interesting.
Okay.
I do think, though, I think that coming to LA, I think that was just a different feel because you're in a bigger city now. There's lots to do in LA. It's not just football based.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that kind of not really intimidating them. What's the better word? Just big city, bright light, or whatever you say. Distractions. I don't know. I just feel like they just need to focus on football and why you guys moved out here.
Is this going to be a bad season this year, you think?
I think so, yes.
Like, what, less than 500? Let's say they were 7-9 last year. Do you think will the Rams win 6 games this year? At least 6 games this year.
I'm going to say no.
Oh, boy, okay. I'm going to say they're going to...
Even though I am a fan now.
You can be a bandwagon Ram fan like me? Okay.
I am. We haven't had a football team for a while, so...
I'm going to say they're going to go 7-9 again this year. So I'm going to say, guys, speaking of football, how about some DraftKings?
Yes.
You play DraftKings?
I'm going to. My dad is actually in DraftKings.
Really? Okay, good.
I want to beat him in something. We're very competitive, me and my dad.
Oh, good. Okay, well, guys, football season is finally here. Praise God. Finally. And it's time to put your fantasy knowledge to the test so that you can win your share of $100,000 in the DraftKings free Week 1 contest. That's right, guys. DraftKings is hosting a free contest this weekend. This weekend, DraftKings is hosting a free contest with $100,000 in total prizes up for grabs. Now, DraftKings.com is where you have to go. So that's the destination for your 1 week fantasy football. And the great thing about 1 week fantasy means that there's no season-long commitment. So you can just go in and out, or you can just stay in. You don't have to be committed. Those of you who are afraid of commitment, this is the perfect thing for you. That's your Raina. And DraftKings even has contests exclusively for beginners. So if you are afraid of fantasy sports, DraftKings is for you because it will kind of basically hold your hand and help you get like your feet wet when it comes to fantasy sports. You can play whatever you want, and you can play with whoever you want to play with when it comes to the players. There is something for every single person out there for DraftKings, okay? So do not be intimidated. How do you do it? You go to hurry. You got to hurry to DraftKings.com. You got to use the code BSports. BSports. Use the code BSports and you can play for free. And this weekend's $100,000 fantasy contest. DraftKings.com. Use the code BSports. Enter yourself into the $100,000 fantasy contest. Go to DraftKings.com. Tell them that we sent you. You win lots of money, and then you give us a check. Thank you. You don't really have to give us a check, but we just like to say that.
Give us something.
Give us a shout out on your social media.
A shout out would be nice.
We'll take a shout out. Okay. What else do we have?
We have a few.
Go for it, Raina. Go for it.
Should we talk about fashion now?
Do fashion.
Let's talk about fashion. So we're going to switch it up a bit.
Do it.
It's Girls' Day. It's Girls' Night. So we're going to talk about stuff that we like. Yes, we have. We're the best of both worlds. We like sports. We also like to dress it up a bit. Fashion,
and we like whiskey.
And we like whiskey. Preferably Jameson. I'm more of a Henny girl.
You like Hennessy?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but Jameson is my second choice.
Okay.
So this week is New York Fashion Week, and we.
Is it over now though?
Well, it was over now, but it was this past week, and the outfits were amazing. I had a few of my personal favorites, but it was cool to see the athletes dress up and kind of show us what they got. And that's one thing I like. I like seeing athletes outside of the court or outside of the field just to see how their life really is and how they dress, what their interests are. And we have, of course, our first picture is the fashion king himself. That's what he calls himself. Mr. Russell Westbrook.
That's Russell. So he looks like ASAP Rocky to me right there.
Yeah, right there. But Russell came out. There was a few outfits I couldn't, give you guys all
How
of
do you
it.
feel about that outfit?
His outfit, I kind of like it. I think it's safer for Russ. I'm
okay.
He's usually into like the tighter pants,
tighter
shirts. But this is kind of different, and it's safer. It's more urban, and so I kind of like it because Russ is playing it safe right here. But I'm sure he had a few outfits this week that was just kind of stepping out of the norm, I would say.
How about those glasses? How do you feel about those glasses?
I love big sunglasses, so I probably would wear those.
Yeah, okay.
I probably would. What about you? How do you feel about Russ's style?
I like Russ's style normally. I don't like this outfit though.
No?
Those jeans. I don't know. I don't even.
I'm not sure what fashion show this was. Maybe there was like a theme.
Maybe so.
But I probably should have looked that up.
Like that particular outfit doesn't seem so flattering to me on him. I mean, he doesn't look bad. He almost looks like a transient though. Like he looks very disheveled.
What I like about Russ though, he just does not give a shit about anybody saying anything about him. He's gonna do whatever the hell he wants, and that's how he is on the court.
True.
Just why don't you take it? The fashion king himself. That's what he called himself. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Oh, look who it is.
Yes. And then we have our second picture is the beautiful couple. I think they're so gorgeous together.
I do too.
Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union. Let me just tell you, every time Gabrielle Union's hair gets longer, I go buy a new weave. Seriously. Like, because she switches her hair up so much. I mean, of course, she wears, wigs and stuff and pieces. But my broke self, every time, because I follow her on Snapchat and on Insta story, hey, Gabby, you're my best friend. Most people say that Beyonce's their best friend. Gabrielle Union, you're my best friend.
Gabby's she doesn't age.
She's
beautiful. I think this outfit in particular, I love it. I mean, I love two-piece sets.
But let me say this. Now, even though Gabrielle Union and I are best friends, I can say that sometimes her fashion choices make me say,
Really?
Yeah.
Like which type is when she just does?
Like sometimes she tries to be more conservative, and sometimes her more conservative outfits come across as matronly.
Right.
Like almost like grandma. Okay.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Just want to throw that out there.
No, I mean, I get it, but I think this outfit in particular, I think she's working it right now. Look at that tummy, girl.
Yes, girl.
And then Dwayne Wade, I've always been a fan of his style. I think that he's just so, I don't know, it's just it's professional, but like edgy at the same time. And he's always in a hat like that, too.
He is.
He wears them really well, too. I like it.
I agree with you. And not that I am against guys who are super metro, but I think that I like his style because, like, my type of guy, like, I don't mind you, being in touch with your feminine fashion side, but I don't want you to be too metro.
True.
Like, not if you're my man.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be, if you're not my man, you can be as metro as you want to be. But I don't want my man to be super metro. And I think for me, for the kind of guy that I like, D. Wade has a good mix
balance.
Good balance.
Good balance.
Okay.
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
So Dwayne Wade and Gabby killed it this season. This is Allison Felix.
Oh, I didn't recognize her.
Exactly. I love seeing, especially female athletes.
Track star.
Olympian. Gold medalist, right?
Gold medalist. And then 4x400, was it? 4x400 this year.
Yes. But this is Allison Felix. Her body is banging off. Like, out of this, like, in a tracksuit, she has... Track stars always have a pretty, like, perfect body.
But you can't even see her. You can't see... This outfit doesn't do her body any justice.
It doesn't, but I love her makeup. I love her hair. I don't think it does her body justice either. I think if you have a sexy body like that, it's okay to show it off,
Right.
But it was this picture... I think she's a beautiful woman, so it was just cool to see her off the field, with makeup on and with her hair done in a different setting. So
she's pretty.
She's really pretty. So Allison, you did that, girl.
Allison, come be a guest of the show.
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
And
what else do we have?
I think I had one more.
Yeah, one more fashion picture.
If it comes
if
up.
the powers that be will let us see the fashion picture.
It was Tiana and...
whatchamacallit?
Shump. So in this picture, for those of you who can't, view it, we have Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. I think I'm saying his last name correctly. So for those of you who can't see this picture, Shump is wearing a crop top.
He is.
A crop top, and he's showing his six-pack. You know, shout out to the body. By the way, speaking of body, Tiana Taylor's body is another one that's perfect.
Ridiculous. And she just had a baby. She's like a 4-month-old baby. She must have carried that baby in her booty or something. Because that stomach is like, what baby?
Perfect.
What baby?
What baby? But they're matching the same type of material. So, and I like when couples do that sometimes. But I think I'm not a fan of crop tops. Like Ezekiel Elliott, his crop top on the
See, I like Ezekiel Elliott's crop tops.
Girl.
No, you said that before.
No, I didn't.
You did say that you didn't.
Ezekiel Elliott?
You said, we talked about his crop top on the football field, and you said last season you didn't like his crop top, and I was like, I like it. This is your second time saying that you don't like Zeke's crop top.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. And I don't like that either. I don't think crop tops are for men.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. I'm not really feeling that.
I'm not feeling the crop top on Shump either, but Tiana can
wear whatever the hell she wants.
It's ridiculous.
I think she killed it as well, Fashion Week. She was also in the Yeezy show.
Mm-hmm. She has great breast. She has great.
She has great everything.
She does.
Stomach is perfect.
Like on the fade video.
Yes.
They show the shot of her from the back, and you can see her breast, the perkiness, and the outline, the side boob.
Yeah.
Y'all,
blessed.
I don't know. I have small breasts, so I don't know how I would feel having such large breasts, but her breasts are
she's perfectly proportioned because she is tiny as well. So she's shorter, but she has the thinner body, but it's also muscular as well. So most athletes, I'd say, are built like her. I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't really know.
I'm pretty sure that Shump is happy with that body every night he gets in bed.
After the fade video, a lot of people were tweeting about how Shump was winning because he had Tiana, and I think so. I mean, I like them as a couple too. I think they're both fun. For Halloween, I think it was last season, they dressed up. Oh, Shump was in a I forgot the character. It was in Friday. Pinky and
Felicia. No.
Oh my gosh, I forgot the name. Anyways, he was in a feminine outfit, and she was in a suit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I like them. I think So and there's a couple other athletes that were kind of stunning on New York Fashion Week. Lala and Mello.
Always so cute.
I love Lala. I've always been a fan of her. I've always from work wise and then till now I love her. She's great. And then Mello, he was pretty flashy as well.
Who else from Fashion Week that you like?
Victor Cruz. He's fresh.
He's pretty very fashionable.
Very fashionable. You know who I didn't see a lot of was Odell Beckham. And I was surprised to not see him there, but I'm pretty sure were they traveling? They were in Indy.
Did they play the Cowboys?
Wait, they did play the Cowboys.
Monday night.
But Odell, Nick Young wasn't there either. I think he dresses pretty for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
I can't really lie. I didn't really pay much attention to Fashion Week.
Oh, good. But you saw those pictures.
Yes, yeah. And I was, I love Gabby and D Wizzle, and love Shump and Tiana. Allison Felix, I love her in general, but I don't like that.
That outfit.
That didn't compliment her well. Can we go to some sports real fast?
Let's go back to sports.
Let's go back to sports. Antonio Brown popping in the end zone.
Okay. Let me just say that he twerked better than I have ever twerked in my life.
Twerk, Antonio Brown, twerk. He says
work.
There's a picture. Twerk. Look at him. Bop.
Seriously, zoom in on
that thing, boy.
So for those of you who can't see, he has both hands on his. He has his hand on his right knee and left knee,
and the football
and the football, and literally looking back at it and twerking.
Let me tell you, that picture right there, I like that stance. I like that stance. I like that.
Me too, but
okay. Now we can quit calling it twerking. Like the media is reporting it as a twerk heard around the world. And Antonio Brown is saying that it's not called twerking. The dance that he did is called booming.
Oh.
He said it's called booming. So for those of you out there who were like, oh, Antonio Brown was twerking in the end zone. No, guys, he was not twerking in the end zone. Antonio Brown was booming in the end zone.
Listen, if you're playing like Antonio Brown, You can do whatever the hell you want.
He 126 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Steelers blowout win against the Redskins. And then I don't think they released. He got fined for the twerking / booming in the end zone, but we don't know exactly at this point, or before we started shooting. I don't think we knew how much the fines were. But Antonio Brown did say, whatever the fines were or are going to be, it's nothing, because it's nothing for a boss. He's like, it's nothing for a boss.
It's nothing for a boss.
Nothing for a boss. You going boom. So are you offended? Are you offended by this what I think the NFL called the prolonged gyrating motion? Are you offended?
Of Antonio Brown, his dance?
Yeah.
No. I'm not. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious because I wasn't expecting that. When I saw that, I'm like, no, he didn't. And
for a long time, too.
Yeah, and he was good. I was like I said, this is probably better than whenever I tried to do it.
Can I see your twerk? What's your twerk?
No, we'll do that on the camera.
No, you gotta do a twerk. I'll do a twerk if you do a twerk.
No, but you're a dancer. I'm not. We talked about this.
Okay.
Anyways, but I thought it was funny. I mean, like I said, if you playing like Antonio Brown, you can do whatever the hell you want.
I agree, and I think that the NFL takes such major... Yeah, they try so hard to make it so serious. And you have to remember that, you have a lot of diehard football fans like you and me, but then you have a lot of people who are watching because it's Monday Night Football, and it's an event, it's an occasion. And so people who are casual football fans appreciate the twerking and the booming. They might be offended by it, but it's more entertaining to them than watching team punt. This gives it a little bit more flair.
And it's fun. Like, you just scored a touchdown. I like it when they do the touchdown dances. Yeah. And as an athlete, you scored. You just did that. Do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
Just like when you dunk on somebody, if you cross somebody up, of course, you want to put an extra, I did that on somebody, dance or whatever you want.
When LeBron dunked on Steph during the finals, he was like, Negro.
He was just like, I don't like that.
What? Now, wait a second. Now, how do you not like that?
What he said after, you can see, you could see his mouth and what he said too.
What did he say?
I can't say it.
Oh, what? Well, you can
He was just like, call him a B word, A word, N word.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like BITCH ass NIGGA.
Yes.
Why don't you like that?
Those are fighting words.
Oh, well, they were fighting to win.
I think I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of that.
Work, twerk. Antonio Brown. Come be a guest on the show, Antonio.
Please, you can teach me how to twerk.
Right. Antonio Brown.
Please.
We need you to come to BHL, in Los Angeles, California, and come teach Raina how to twerk.
Teach Ray how to twerk.
I like that. That should be our new hashtag. Okay, Dak Prescott. Now,
Dak Riders.
Hashtag Dacky Ride. Dacky Ride. You don't know that song?
No.
D-A-K. Okay, so we decided we created the hashtag. We have created here at BHL the new hashtag Dak Riders to talk about Dak Prescott. In the loss of the Giants, he was 25 of 45 for 227 yards. He got criticized a lot for not targeting Dez. Did you watch that game?
I didn't watch that game, but I did see the highlights.
Okay.
I think he's doing well. I mean, he was thrown into the position out of nowhere with Romo getting hurt, and as a rookie, you have to be prepared for that. That's the moment that you've been waiting for, and I think he definitely rose up to that occasion.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And I think for Dak to be playing, because playing in Dallas is a lot different than playing, let's say, in Jacksonville, Florida, or, playing in a smaller market. I mean, I guess Dallas. Well, yeah, I mean, Dallas that's a big sports market at least.
Huge.
Yeah, so I think that the pressure that Dak is under playing with Jerry Jones and Garrett and having to try to fill Tony Romo's shoes, 'cause even though Tony Romo hasn't done much for that team when it comes to playoffs, he has been a pretty tremendous regular season quarterback, and he does typically lead his team back from deficits in last-minute miracle drives.
Right.
And Dak Prescott, while Tony Romo was out, is going to have to fill those shoes. But it was his first game a true rookie, and there were lots of mistakes made. But I don't think that the Cowboys fans should have anything to worry about. I think that once he settles in and continues to gain his confidence, which I think he's already pretty confident, I think the Cowboys should be pretty happy. You have Dak Prescott on your squad,
and I think he just needs to learn like how your teammates are. You need to get to know where Dez likes the ball and stuff like that. It's a learning process. I mean, a quarterback is a tough position. And I don't know, I just feel like people were so hard on him after that one game, but I mean,
and I think
football.
So many people have allegiance to Dez because he's been there and he is the veteran and he is like the fantasy scorer. I think he only
Dez is the man.
He's the man. He only had 8 yards this past game because Dak was targeting other receivers and running backs. But I don't know. I think that, as Dak said in his press conference, he was like, if Dez is the read, then he's the read. If he's not, then he's not. And I like that because it's difficult for a quarterback to stand his ground when it comes to standing up to what everyone else expects for you to do. And as a rookie quarterback,
I was going to say that, yes.
He was like, if Dez is the read, he's the read. Essentially, I am the leader of this offense. I like that. Dak, we're riding.
Definitely Dak fans.
We're gonna ride that Dak. We're gonna ride that Dak.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Dak riders for sure.
Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up? Go ahead. Serena Venus?
Yes.
Doping.
Doping. They were accused of doping because of their bodies and how they're built and that's just. Go ahead.
Well, there's a list. There's a list that the hackers got into that shows
Russian hackers.
Hey, Russia, y'all need to stop doing that. That revealed some of the drugs that they were taking that helped enhance their abilities to perform their sports. But these particular drugs and substances have been approved by the by the International Olympic Committee. So I think this is kind of a non-story. I think the bigger story is that Russia keeps hacking our shit.
Right. They're mad.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't what?
Pumping.
Thank you.
Russia, why you mad? Russia, why you mad?
Why you always hating?
Why y'all don't come for us, Russia. No. We'll have anything for you. Okay. Girls' night.
Girls' night. That was
fun. Yeah,
we're
okay.
fun.
Josh and Charlie have been texting me. Let's see what they're saying. Have they been texting you too?
Yes.
Live
chat.
Oh, what live chat? Josh says bring up the live chat. I don't know what Josh is talking about. Okay.
But chat with us. I mean, if you want, anything, if you have questions, tweet us.
Yeah,
right?
tweet us. Yeah, and of course, from now on, you guys can talk with us while we're shooting,
right,
in our YouTube comments. And then if you want to debate with us after we finish shooting, you can debate with us in the YouTube comments. We normally don't read those, so you can just tweet us, and you can tweet me and reach me on all social media platforms at Erica Renee D, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Periscope.
We forgot about Periscope.
I don't really Periscope anymore.
She doesn't. And you can follow me. I'm Raina at Instagram and Twitter at Raina_LA.
And as always, you can follow all things Black Hollywood Live on BlackHollywoodLive.com. Follow us on Twitter at BHL Online. Follow us on Instagram at The Sports Weekly. And guys, BTW, my writing partners and I have just released our new music video called Pay Us, which is a parody of YG's Why You Always Hatin'.
Really?
And it's a crowdfund campaign for Seed and Spark for our web series called Posers. So go to seedandspark.com. Put in hashtag posers, look at our new rap video, and then support and follow us on Seed and Spark. How about that?
I gotta check it out.
You want to plug anything?
I don't really have anything to plug, but
plug Antonio Brown coming to BHL, being a guest on the show,
and teach me how to twerk. That would be hilarious.
Teach me how to twerk. Okay. Until next Thursday night. Next week we'll have a full show maybe. Sure. If not, we're cool. Girls' night. Thursday night next week, 7:00. See ya.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.